Let's dive right in. Today we're talking about how self-interest in personal relationships isn't selfish at all, but rather a key element to genuine connection.
Yeah, that's interesting. It's kind of counterintuitive at first glance, isn't it?
Exactly. Um, like we're taught to see selflessness as the ultimate
Right.
virtue. But when someone is always putting others first to the point where they never reveal what they really want, that can create a wall between partners.
I get it. It's one thing to be kind, but another to always defer to your partner without sharing your own interests.
Yup, it's like when one partner keeps agreeing with everything, maybe not out of malice, but because they've been conditioned to be selfless, then you never really get a glimpse into their true likes, dislikes, or inner world.
Yeah, exactly. Right. And that brings up the idea that self interest is really a path to authenticity, even though, society often paints it as selfishness.
Precisely. There's this subtle difference. Self-interest as self-expression versus the conventional notion of being self-absorbed. Over time, if you're only hearing the same yes, sure from your partner, you begin to wonder if their opinions are even their own.
Yeah, it's like if you're constantly choosing what they want for everything movies, dinner, weekend plans you might be missing out on who they truly are.
Exactly. Think about the example provided in our topic. There's that conversation where Jim always just agrees with Jackie. Even when planning something fun, Jim's pattern of always saying, "I'm happy to go wherever you want," leaves Jackie questioning if his silence is comfort or avoidance.
That's spot on. Yeah, it's really an illustration of how selfless responses can sometimes be a barrier to deep intimacy.
Yep, and the key, as suggested, is to foster intentional, open, and reciprocal communication. Instead of yes-no questions, partners should ask open-ended ones that encourage sharing personal opinions.
So, like asking, "What do you really feel about this?" instead of, "Is that okay?" That seems like a simple shift, but maybe it's not so simple for everyone.
Absolutely. It's like, when you want to hear someone's real flavor, say, "What dish really excites you at a restaurant?" instead of, "Do you like Italian?" That small change can make a huge difference.
Yeah, that's a great analogy. It really makes sense. But sometimes I wonder if pushing for deeper conversation might feel a bit like prying into someone's personal space too quickly. Could that be counterproductive?
I get that concern, and it's valid. But the idea is to create a safe space for these talks. Agreement matters, but so does validation. Like, acknowledge their small preferences and gently encourage them to open up more over
Right,
time.
that gradual approach is key. Exactly. It's about balance. If one doubles down on selfless behavior out of habit, then it's important the other partner steps in with empathetic, curious questions that signal, "Hey, I really care about your thoughts."
Yup, and that ties into what Dr. Gottman suggests for creating intimate conversations. Putting feelings into words, asking open-ended questions, and expressing empathy. Among these, the latter two are especially beneficial for partners who tend to be overly selfless.
True, because if you're constantly asking questions that only allow for a yes or no, then you're not really inviting that honest self expression.
Yeah, it's like, you're essentially building a conversational routine that's too predictable. And predictable routines, while soothing sometimes, can also be, a bit stifling in terms of personal growth and connection.
It reminds me of when you're in a restaurant and the waiter always brings you the same dish because they assume you'll love it. But maybe you'd like to experiment a little, right?
Exactly. That's a perfect illustration.
Yeah.
Both partners deserve that chance to be adventurous and to discover new things about each other rather than just sticking to a script.
Speaking of scripts, it's interesting to ponder if there's a risk that too much focus on engagement techniques might feel mechanical. I mean, do you think there could be a trap where folks end up questioning every exchange?
I can see why you'd say that. But really, it's about, balancing intentional effort with natural flow. The ideas aren't meant to be rigid formulas, but starting points to encourage more authentic dialogues.
Right? Legitimacy over rigidity. I like that perspective. It seems that ultimately, self interest, or expressing what you really want, is a cornerstone in preventing relationships from growing stale.
Absolutely. And it's almost like updating your personal software. Without these updates, you run into vulnerabilities in your relationship's security. Keeping the connection fresh means sometimes challenging that self-sacrificing perfection.
Security upgrades indeed. I love that analogy. It's like a relationship patch update that enhances both security and speed, making things smoother overall.
Exactly. It's like saying update your partner in terms of emotional intimacy.
And sometimes the patch means asking those open-ended questions that might feel a bit out of the routine initially.
Yep. And it's crucial for both individuals to feel that their inner desires are valued. By, asking, what are you really in the mood for this weekend? You give them the opportunity to share something personal beyond just a yes or no response.
Right on. I totally agree. And it also gives you, as the partner, the chance to learn about their hidden preferences and maybe even discover new things about yourself in the process.
Absolutely. And that can lead to a richer, more connected relationship overall. It's like both partners are, invited to the table where every dish is on display.
But here's a thought. Isn't there a risk that someone might perceive this push for self-expression as challenging their natural tendency to be, agreeable?
That's a good point. However, it's important to remember the distinction. What we call selfless in excess can, over time, hinder genuine connection if it means sacrificing personal identity. The goal here isn't to criticize kindness, but to encourage a little bit of healthy self-expression.
I see, that's a fair challenge. Exactly. It's like saying embrace your interests without losing your caring nature. Finding that sweet spot helps both partners thrive together.
Right, and another technique is showing empathy. When your partner does open up, even just a small admission, like preferring Italian food over Mexican, empathizing and engaging with that detail validates their personal choice and encourages further sharing.
Yeah, validating those small choices builds trust. And over time, isn't that the secret to a long-lasting relationship? The ability to share, validate, and evolve together through honest conversation.
Exactly. It's like nurturing a garden, giving your partner space to reveal who they truly are, while you both water the plants of connection and authenticity.
Absolutely. This reminds me of the idea that relationships aren't just about compatibility in the conventional sense, but about deliberately choosing to grow and learn from each other over time.
Yup, and when each partner starts expressing their self-interest openly, it, leads to a more balanced give and take that benefits both individuals. It prevents that invisibility that happens when one person's identity becomes a mystery behind selflessness.
That's such a great point. So, in a nutshell, striving for that balance between being kind and being authentically yourself is what leads to deeper intimacy and a more secure connection.
Definitely. And hopefully, by encouraging more intimate, open-ended conversations, we can help partners break through the barriers of overly selfless responses and build a foundation where both individuality and togetherness thrive.
Absolutely, that's the kind of upgrade every relationship deserves. It's been a great discussion, one that really challenges conventional ideas about selflessness while illuminating how self-interest can actually enrich our relationships.
Right. Thanks for tuning in. And remember, a little self-interest isn't selfish. It's essential for genuine connection.